Over the course of my life, there's been three great loves in my life. Food, alcohol, and steam trains. So how about I do a web series where I get to talk about all three of them? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here you are joining me at Preston Station, where we're waiting to board the Pendle Dalesman. It reminds me of that beautiful old poem. Roses are red, indicates from Kendall, Britain's worst copper is Constable Pendle. You'll only get a joke if you've watched the Treacle People. I actually arrived at the station at about 1:15, so as you can see from the charter train thing, it's going to be a while before Dalesman actually gets here. Thankfully though, Preston's a pretty big station and they seem to have a cafe on pretty much every platform. So, let's make use of the pumpkin shop and go to get a coffee. And yes, I think it actually does close at midnight. Pumpkins, what can you do? Well, I got my coffee, decided to have a mocha. And look at the size of it. Now, this is what you call grand. Cheers. Too hot. You know, I used to go out with a girl who used to catch and see the exact same train home from university every week. I know because she used to be able to recite all the stations off by heart. So there's just been a station announcement that it's going to be a Harry Potter train. Does that mean there's actually going to be Alton Hall pulling a train? I'll keep you posted. Then again, I'm in the right livery for it at least. I accidentally spilled a bit of coffee on myself during one of my earlier takes, so let this be a lesson to you. Don't try to hold your coffee and operate a camera at the same time. Don't make the same mistake I did. Anyway, they sometimes keep popping in the, as is to say, piping in the Harry Potter theme, so maybe it actually is Alton Hall. But there's no real way of knowing until the locomotive shows up, so until then, here, crouching with anticipation. Also a bit like wildlife photography, you have to be patient and... Oh, here it comes now. Comes the Dalesman. This, I believe, may or may not be my carriage. I did, after all, order first-class dining. Well, what's wrong about getting in one of the Pullman coaches, but the first-class ones do have fancy names, like Diana, Alexandria. Mine is called Kitchen. Oh, how appropriate. Morning. And here's where I'll be sitting. Yes, we're being very fancy today. Yeah, I was actually wrong about it being called Kitchen. That was just a joke. My actual carriage is called Florence. Now, just look at this. Oh yes, we're being very fancy today. It's going to be a while before I can afford to go on the Orient Express, so this is the next best thing.
Welcome to the Pendle Dalesman
And now look at that. Box fizz reception of tea. Perfection. Time for box fizz. I feel almost like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Sipping orange juice out of a champagne glass. This might be alright. For my first course, I get to impersonate a fat controller enjoying hot porridge for breakfast. This one's served with cream. Ooh, that's nice.
Black toast or croissant, please?
Yes, please. White toast, please.
White toast. Thank you. Toast or croissant, please? Round the white. Yes, sir. Round the
Okay, now we're moving on to the main course. Full English breakfast and toast. I like mine with plenty of salt on it. It brings out the extra flavour of tomato, so it tastes extra tomatoey. Bon appetit. Just look at it. Beautiful. Hello again, just a quick update from where I belong. The toilet. So, I think it's time I need to address the elephant in the room. As you saw earlier, that wasn't actually the Harry Potter locomotive, Alton Hall, but it was in fact Siera Leone, Jubilee Class. Now, it may or may not be Galatea posing as a deceased classmate. Now, I'm perfectly okay with that. I am actually quite partial to standing locomotives, but the issue I take is that they called it the Harry Potter train. It's not even red! It's not even a joke that makes any kind of satirical sense! I mean, it would have made more sense if they said it was like Henry from Thomas the Tank Engine. Anyway, something else I'd like to show you is this. A new type of toilet that they installed as a trial. Less water and more hygienic. I'm all for good sanitary engineering. Let's test it out. Top button until the water's entered the bowl. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And low button until it flushes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Asian medicine, so I appreciate a good toilet when I see one. Till next time. Well, since the locomotive stopped for a drink, we might as well have one ourselves. Here we have a bottle of gravy train featuring something of a celebrity. It's that locomotive from the film Brief Encounter. It's even based at Carnforth. Cheers. Yep. So apparently this is the last bottle they had. Local lad gets lucky, yeah? Cheers. Oh no, just in case you wanted to read the tasting notes.
Thank you very much.
He's never in.
And finally we head off again. I'm going to catch some vintage rolling stock as well.
Actually, if we improv, you could have had stuff out there, Julie.
Now that's an idea for a new railway series story. Thomas and the Graffiti Artists. Every beer, Golden Sand is named after the Southport Pier. By the way, we're also going to be passing through the Riverhead Viaduct. But I'll just let you see the view for yourself.
After the railway station starts. Yes. You resting?
And here we are, the famous Riverhead Viaduct. It sounds like that I wish I could do that instant transmission thing from Dragon Ball. That way I could get a shot of the train as it passes. In the meanwhile, I'm happy with my Golden Sands, a citrus flavoured beer. Cheers. By the way, I just remembered I had this in my pocket. Yeah, I got this from the Clearwater event of the Midland Railway bus delay. It's a beer coaster, so I think I'll make use of this now. Yes, my friend David once said, this is what it's all about, trains, bobs and booze.
Highest station on the line.
What you're looking at now is reportedly the prettiest valley in England. Looking at it now, I would say I agree. full speed. Yes, in my head I could just imagine us racing a bus. No, not to do a total subversity, it's more like a tribute to the typical Thunderbolt. Well, I think the bus will be a bit out past with the Jubilee Class.
There's not a bloody way for something. There's not a way for 60 That's platform 7, 9, 11.
So we just arrived in Carlisle, and before I go on to exploring the town, let's see what you let's show you what you want to see. Some close-ups of the locomotive.
I remember my uncle drove trains and he put one in Liverpool train. He wanted to get on, on Liverpool. I didn't get on it for a
Yeah, it's taken a while to get so where I can get a good angle of the locomotive, because as you can see there's pretty popular looking locomotive. I'm not sure if it's Bahamas or Galatea. I'll have to look that up on the internet when I get my Wi-Fi back. So even if it's not the Harry Potter locomotive, it's still a pretty magnificent engine. Hats off to William Stanier. So now we've disembarked on the train and arrived at Carlisle. Let's do something fun. To a pub! I stopped into the Griffin at Carlisle to have a quick pit stop while I plan my next move, aka where I'm going to have my lunch. I managed to get the last pint of Citadel on draft. The beer's called Citadel. Definitely tastes like it. You can sort of tell this is the last one in a pint. So I'm trying to stop at the Castle Romano for lunch. I'm a move for Italian. Well, I was going to go there for lunch, but it turns out they've already stopped serving, so guess I'm going to have to look for somewhere else. Oh well, forward we go. The King's Head. So most of the locally run restaurants I tried were actually have actually stopped serving at 2 o'clock. So yeah, this really isn't the best place to go for lunch. I suppose there's always the local pubs. Cheers. So 2 hours actually flew by pretty quickly. So it's about 3 o'clock now. So it's nearly time for me to go back to the station. But this is to get back by, I think it was 10 past, so I'll give myself a bit more time so I can take some photos of the train. Not sure it's a train, Well, here we are, boarding for the return journey. Yes, first back.
Send it on WhatsApp or Facebook.
And here we go, my seat. Oh, just have canapes. There's a bit of fancy this is. Even the napkin looks like a tuxedo. Amazing. We were also given a complimentary glass of champagne as well. Salut.
That's solicitors you saw, Bridge. You might be needing that, you carry on.
Manager, I do love wood chips. Carrots. Do you think the state of his face?
Well, the bastards will night on these cameras.
So for a canapé we actually have stroganoff. Yeah, let's try out this Russian delicacy. That is really good stroganoff. Russian stroganoff, I believe. So here's the first course of our evening meal. Risotto with a very nice looking asparagus. Very artistic. Also a nice warm bread roll. Quite warm, like it's only just been baked. I was looking for all that smoke, because this time we're nearer to the engine. I have missed the smell of burning coal. So So now we move on to the main course. This is what the whole day has been leading towards. Chicken supreme with mushroom gravy. Looks absolutely delicious. Also got time to open the Sauvignon Blanc.
More people ahead of us. No.
Wow,
I've forgotten that we were.
that's incredible.
All of what faces. Just outside.
We get places that complain, don't you? Nobody comes and goes, yeah, I've shut down now. Then they're overpriced.
This is for life. First class travel, beautiful surroundings. Absolutely wide-owned, very wide nostrils. I'm the king of England. So good gear. What is it? We're having apple pie and custard. And this actually really does look good. Back when we used to have school dinners, and sometimes order just a big bowl of custard. So, now my taste is matured, we can enjoy the apple pie as well. Oh yeah, very nice. As Corporal Jones would always say, very tasty, very sweet. Sometimes when he wasn't saying, don't panic, don't panic. So now I come to the end of the meal, we're having a cheese board. Of course, cheese is the absolute sophisticated thing to have at the end of the meal. Yes, very distinguished. We won't be in Hellifield for apparently until 6:30, so I shall make the most of it.
Kids used to be murder when I was cutting.
As you just heard, we're stuck here for over an hour. There's another service passes us. But Hellifield at one time was a very important station, it was a very important junction. Oh, Bob's coming to talk to you.
Big one for Chris Roll.
Okay. There used to be a train shed here for 16 locos, and they had 3 snowplows permanently stationed here, and they needed them for the settlement in Carlisle because it gets pretty bleak up there. One of the signal boxes doesn't actually ever run in water, so they used to have to take the water up to it every day. So it's and at its peak there was over 200,000 wagons went through this junction.
Preston at Journey's End, and it turns out the coaches themselves were actually the ones used in the Harry Potter films, not the locomotive. The locomotive is actually Galatea, as I originally suspected. So let's get one more shot of it before we wrap this video up.